Imagination. Creativity. What about you? What do you see in this block of mahogany? No, really, take a moment. It could be 1,000 different things. What would you do with it? Imagination and creativity are some pretty amazing things if you stop to think about it. Many think they are unique properties that humans possess that other creatures on Earth do not have. And even though some disagree with that, it is certainly true that humans are the only ones that possess these attributes in a seemingly unlimited way that we do. Yet, so often, we as humans become crippled in our ability to, without limits, delve into the world of imagination and creativity. Somewhere along the way, what every child is given, this ability to imagine and create without boundaries, is chipped away at. It happens to all of us, to varying degrees and on different schedules, but for all of us, it happens. Part of this is reality, or what we perceive to be reality. We begin to understand more about the world, both consciously and unconsciously, and somehow tell ourselves that we shouldn't think that way anymore, because it conflicts with reality. And as we do, we part ways with the imaginary friends of our youth and the adventures that we had with them. The adults around us confirm this reality limit, explaining to us as if they were saving us from some future crisis, that it is just not how the world works. And to these things they tell us we can't do, they add the things that according to them we should not do. And into our lives comes the limits of personal and societal expectations. With their entrance, the playing field of imagination and creation shrinks a little more. Finally, failure comes knocking at our door. This is the failure of things we know are possible. We know it's possible because we see others succeeding at it, and yet, for whatever reasons, we can't. We try. Sometimes we try again and again, but for whatever reason, success is fleeting. And with it, a little more of imagination and creation scampers away. It can't be done. It shouldn't be done. And it can be done, but I can't do it. These three chip away at the childhood reality of unlimited imagination and creativity. All three of these follow us out of childhood and continue to, chip after chip, year after year, confront us with a life with limits. All three of these make us see that block of mahogany as just a chunk of wood. Why is it then that some people can look at a piece of mahogany and see an infinite amount of possibilities, and others see only a chunk of wood? Was Escher's ability to see perspective differently some unique gifting? Was Einstein's ability to see the depths of time and space unique, or is it available to others? Within the realm of Judeo-Christian thinking that I grew up in, there is an account of God creating the world in Genesis 1. On day 6 of that creation, God creates man and woman, and this is the really mind-blowing thing. It says that they were created in the image of God. Created in the image of God. Clear your mind and think about that for a couple minutes. Theologians have had vibrant discussions about what this phrase means. One small part of that discussion suggests that we as men and women, like God, have the ability to create, have the ability to imagine. To see a lump of clay and create humanity. To hold a chunk of mahogany and see something more than just a chunk of mahogany. This understanding of men and women being able to imagine and create is foundational to how I see people around me and the world we are creating. And yet, if this is true, the question remains, why are some people able to continue to see the world through the eyes of imagination and creativity, and others are not? I by no means claim to know the answer to this question, but there is one facet of it I do know because I have experienced it firsthand. It is the presence in my life of other people who themselves have been able to escape the black hole that sucks imagination and creativity out of us, and have been willing to share that experience with me through their words and their actions. Almost universally, people who call themselves creative can point to somebody or several somebodies who, when they said that is impossible, replied with, well, what if it was possible? And when they said I shouldn't do that, replied with, why not? And when they said I can't, replied with, I think you can. Sometimes it's a parent or a grandparent. For many of us, it was the teachers, sometimes a friend, a pastor, a priest, or imam. Other times it's not one particular person, but a community of people who have learned to open their minds and see the world once again through the eyes of a child. A world without limits. In my journey, there were specific people who fulfilled this role. My high school shop teachers, Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Henry, both opened my eyes to see the world of making things. But it was a small furniture design and making school in upstate New York where my thinking was really challenged and changed. The teachers, resident artists, and other students, too many to list, challenged me to think beyond the walls that I had built around me. I arrived simply wanting to rebuild furniture that others had already built, and left several years later realizing that each board I pick up has the potential to become a new creation, yet to be imagined, yet to be built. Now this is where things get really exciting, because you and I can play a role in this process. Not only can you and I be people who learn to see the world through the eyes of unlimited imagination and creation, we can be a part of this fabric of people who also helps others to do so. Never underestimate the power of the words you speak to another person, of the actions that you take towards them. You have the ability to encourage someone away from the cliff of impossibility and show them the unending horizon of possibility. You can help a child to continue to see the world through the eyes of imagination even as they grow into adulthood. And you can help teach anew an adult how to once again see the world through the eyes of a child even as they grow older. So let us be that person in someone else's life. Someone who, through our words and actions, help others to likewise regain this childhood view of the world, where imagination and creativity are again without limits. Let us help others walk beyond the world of it can't be done by asking them, what if it could? Let us respond to others who say it should not be done with, why not? And let us encourage those who are mired in the web of, I can't do it, with the life-changing words, I think you can. Let us be people who can hold a chunk of mahogany and see a beautiful bowl.